Hey everyone.
Hey, welcome back. No longer a pilot episode. I think we're officially in the full thing here.
We have our first guest today. We are on episode 3 of For the Love of Real Estate.
Yeah, episode 3.
We got to start saying that in sync or something. It'd be funnier.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
We were told be funnier.
Yeah. Specifically by all our friends.
Yes.
Hi, friends.
So who do we have here today?
We have Mr. Greg Erlinger.
He's our owner principal from Cleveland.
Operating principal.
Operating principal. I'll get the slogan down eventually. But he is one of the top agent in Ohio. So we're happy to have him
He
here.
is literally the #1 agent in Ohio. How many years in a row, Greg?
14 now.
And that's for closed
units
volume.
and volume. Yeah.
Units and volume.
And again, that's my team. I just happen to represent that team.
Yes. We get Greg, every Thursday and every Friday usually in Toledo?
Yep. Thursday, Friday. Wednesday night, you can find me at the Hollywood.
But he calls Cleveland home. So we wanted to bring him on because not only is he a top producing agent, but he also has rentals.
Yeah. And to say that jokingly, we're talking to Greg right now, but actually who we want to talk to is his alter ego, and that is our very own Landlord Greg. Mm-hmm. So can we actually meet Landlord Greg today?
Yeah, that happens to me a lot. So I'll be right back.
All right, so Greg's gone and Landlord Greg's coming back.
And we're back. With our very own Landlord Greg.
All right, Landlord Greg.
Landlord Greg is here now.
I'm much more relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm much happier being. Most people like Landlord Greg better anyway. So.
Why are these out?
Good to be back.
Well, we're trying to record this with better audio. And
does this sound better?
I hope so. We'll see.
Right. Greg's also a tech guy half the time.
Yeah.
Tech guy, and I fix things, so we went ahead.
So Landlord Greg got our audio potentially working better. We'll see if that actually goes. But we brought Landlord Greg here, aka OP Greg, but. Ask him some questions about what it's like to be a landlord, how he got there, and then maybe give you guys some advice on what you should do if you're looking to invest in real estate in our market or just the Ohio market.
So, but the first thing I want to know is what kind of vehicle does Landlord Greg drive around in?
Oh, it's fantastic. And we're going to throw a picture up there of it. I'll send it to you. But it's a 1990 Astro minivan.
What are you putting there?
Well, not kitties and candy, but actually, what's great about it is it's an extended cab. It's on a truck chassis. I can throw full sheets of drywall, and in Cleveland, close it up. It can snow, and it doesn't hurt any of the materials. It also doesn't look like a work truck, so won't be. A lot of times, the bad guys will go break into like those white trucks or steel tools and things like that.
So it doesn't look like an actual work vehicle?
Doesn't even look like a work van. It pretty much, we know what it looks like, and we're not going to say. So
you're saying Landlord Greg gets his hands dirty?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and if you follow him online, you'll see him doing like these Landlord Greg stories or short videos.
Where would we go to find Landlord Greg?
I know. By the way, this is my clean Landlord Greg outfit. So this is my nice.
There's no paint.
This is like the tuxedo. This is like the tuxedo of Landlord Greg. But where do you find him? Just my YouTube channel, which is at Greg Erlinger, and there's a playlist which is all about Landlord Greg and stuff, and just some fun things that I do there. But anyway, it's a passion of mine. This is where my true happiness comes from, is investing and just being Landlord Greg.
Okay.
I obviously I love real estate. I love selling houses. I love growing realtors. I love opening offices, for Keller Williams, and it's been great. I'm a coach, real estate coach. All of those things are great, but my true therapy comes from honestly like just being Landlord Greg. 100%.
Totally get that. That's us too.
And if you want advice or help in any of that, he does coaching. So any of the stuff that you want more information on, obviously he charges for this, but
not if you're in this office.
Not if you're a KW agent, but you could absolutely reach out to him for advice, because as the #1 realtor in Ohio, and having how many properties?
How many properties?
19 units. 19 units. 19 doors. Doors.
Okay.
19 doors.
So. Now, are they all single families, or what do you?
No. So in Cleveland, we have a lot of multifamily. So in Lakewood, Ohio is where I have the majority, and they're 2-family or 3-family. And my thought in that, investing in those, is you have one roof but 3 incomes, or one roof and 2 incomes, one driveway, 1 yard. The single families, the tenants will stay longer, because I do have a single family. They stay there for years, but then it's a single family, so it's 1 income. Usually a little bit higher, but the cash flow inevitably will be better when you buy in bulk, meaning have 1 roof 4 units, or 1 roof 3 units versus 1 roof 1.
Yeah, but don't you have to deal with like the neighbors, like if they're top and bottom, they're fighting over parking, anything like that?
Kind of crazy. Like everybody you would think, and I've been doing this since I was 24. I'm not 24 anymore. So
No.
So I've been doing this since I was 24.
I mean, you still look 24.
Thank you. So with that, I can tell you, I'm turning 50 next month. So, so I've been doing it a long time, and you would think, honestly, okay, multifamily, they're going to be banging on the doors, upstairs, downstairs, all kinds of stuff. I've definitely had those stories. You know, some people like to love each other really loudly, things like that.
Right.
That does happen. But honestly, after that many years, that many units, it's just really, people understand they're moving into multifamily, and they know if they're allowed, the payback will be hell, because the next tenant, you know, I feel like it's multifamily living, and very infrequently does somebody move out because a dog that won't shut up when it goes to work, or the smells of vaping or whatever that might be. It really isn't a problem. You would think it's a problem. I totally understand the question. Ironically, it generally speaking, it's just not a problem.
But do you self-manage?
I do, yeah.
Okay. So if somebody clogs the toilet, you're getting that phone call.
So when I first started, 100%. So anybody starting out, you fix the toilet.
Yeah, we get that.
As best you can. If you don't know how to fix the toilet and you don't know how to fix electrical, you call the tradesperson, right? And of course they can work with you guys, or if they're local, call any of you guys, find out like the really good ones. You always want a referral. You don't want to use the national companies, generally speaking.
No, we don't.
Because their job is profit, and they're selling franchisers to folks, and those franchises.
They're marketing so much that they got to charge more money. I mean, for every issue that we have, we probably have 4 to 5 different people we could call.
You can call on. It's usually whoever can get to it the soonest, right?
Yeah.
Soonest and cheapest is
and cheapest isn't always the best, but reliable. Somebody that's been around, somebody that's hard to get because they have so much demand means they're probably good, and that just comes with time to get the really good. I mean, I've got a furnace guy nobody can lay their hands on but me, because. He has unlimited amount of work.
So who's taking those calls now for you?
So no, I still cover.
You're
I'll still cover all that. Here's the thing: when you let me go back to the first point. If you're new, bring in the tradesmen, but watch them. Watch everything they do, because when you find out that putting in a flapper in the back of a toilet is all you needed to do for $2.50, you're not paying $250 to have them come out. And you know what they say? You're not paying them for the part; you're paying them for the expertise.
Right.
So if you're paying for it anyway, use it as your in-lot, like your real life YouTube video. Stand there and watch how they fix whatever they fix, whether it's electric or sewage, or if it's roofing, you'll understand, is it a flashing that pulled away from the chimney? Like all of these things you're going to start to learn, especially on your first property, because you're going to have many to come. And so I just wanted to kind of hit that point. And then your next question, I'm sorry, was after that. I kind of jumped.
So I said, who's taking your maintenance calls now, if not?
So maintenance calls, I still do. And the thing is, there's not that many maintenance calls, because my theory or my strategy has always been, do it right. Like, don't duct tape your fixes and your solutions. Like, if something breaks, fix it the right way.
Yeah.
Like, when I buy properties, I literally can tell what type of landlord was there before or after, just based on some of the repairs.
Yeah.
You're seeing the most hack-a-shack. They're using caulk to stop drips and a P-trap underneath duct tape.
Flips here drive me crazy with stuff like that too.
Yeah. If you repair it the correct way, if you spend the money to fix things the right way, you're not going back over and over again. You don't. Why repair a ceiling if the flashing pulls away from the chimney? Spend the $600, get a roofer out there, get it fixed right. Otherwise, you're going to be tearing down that drywall and repairing that stain every year, 2 years, 3 years. Then at some point you have mold. The tenant will be complaining that you have mold, and now you need remediation. If you do it right the first time, my life, it's very easy. My places are on point. If there's anything wrong, I tell my tenants, I'm not that landlord that wants you, call me immediately. When the storm door flies off during a storm, let me know. I want to fix that arm as quick as possible, because that cost me, about $12 to put a new arm on there. The door breaks, slaps, cracks. Next thing you know, it's $700.
Yeah, but you're charging them back on that, correct? For not latching it?
Like on a storm door, if they get to me right away, I would fix it.
I'd take them off.
We take them off sometimes. If we give them one time where we'll fix it. If it flops open again, it's all right, now you don't get one.
Just because.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a walking hazard. I mean, it's going to.
If it's common area, if it's considered common area, if it was a storm, it's legit.
If he's dealing with 4 units, though, I guess that makes our
that
single
does make
families.
sense.
Though,
Yeah, single family if it flops open more than once.
That's because multifamily there's common space. Yeah,
Right.
there's different tenants going in and out.
But we agree with you to front load them because the last thing that we want is somebody moves in, they give you a month's deposit, they give you a month's rent, and then it's like boom, 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 call. This is wrong, and after a while they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm paying X dollar amount for this hellhole that I just had to put 10 work orders in the first month. So we try to like really front load them and make them nice.
When a tenant calls and says the storm door is broken, that's my asset. So
Right.
I want to fix my asset. They think they're calling because they want something done for themselves, but I see it as something, thank you for telling me about my asset that I want fixed.
Right.
When they move out, when my tenants move out, the turnover is so easy because and like you said, if somebody moves in and they're like, this is broke, I'm like, fantastic. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah.
Most landlords would go, oh my gosh, they're so persnickety, I can't stand this tenant.
Yeah.
I love those tenants. Now, the ones that really bother me are the ones I don't hear from for an entire year. And you're like, that's a godsend. But then you move out and you're like, why haven't we fixed this running toilet? The water bill's been $100 more than it needed to be.
So
All you had to do is
doing
tell me.
regular drive-bys and things like that to verify
I'll walk
that?
through the common area. Yeah, great question. I do common area, and it's partially. And I read this in a book. I'm so old. It was Carlton Sheets. He used to be. He's the one I got into this with in 2024. 2024. Oh.
Yeah.
2004. No, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's one of my questions that we threw together right before this.
No,
Yeah,
2000.
when did you buy your first investment property?
Oh gosh.
We
Okay.
actually had a whole series of questions we were going to ask based off of sheet here, and we have completely
Zero
derailed,
questions.
and now
That's
we're just
okay.
we're just winging it.
I'm a
so.
talker. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
2000 and no, what is it? I don't know.
I can edit this.
What?
Yeah, speed ramp.
I will make you look 24.
Yeah, right.
Don't
Filters.
worry.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, whatever. Okay, so 24 and I'm 50, so 25 years ago from today.
So like 2000?
Yeah, about 2000.
Damn.
About 2000. Back when I got the Astra minivan.
So one thing we like about the single family, it's
Yeah.
almost like having a triple net except for the roof. Like essentially they're taking care of the lawn, they're taking care of the bushes, they're taking care of the driveway when it snows or whatever happens. Obviously if there's water damage or whatever, we're jumping in. But with the quads and multifamilies, you're having to put that expense on you, aren't you? Are you paying for that?
Yeah, the water bill can't be parsed out. Water and sewer. Electric is theirs. Gas is usually theirs. So that might be an expense. So if you're purchasing a 2-family, for example, you want to see, are there 2 furnaces? Are there 2
Yeah,
water
totally.
tanks? If there's not, you may want to spend the $1,300 or $1,000 to get a separate water tank. I've done that before.
Totally.
Otherwise, it's unfair to just charge one unit or the other. So, you got to separate everything. Sometimes gas meters, things like that. So when you're purchasing, just make sure, I think, if everything's divided, then you can then put that back on the
track
tenant.
issues too.
Or
I
are
mean,
you
there's
doing
a lot
like,
of-
hey, your rent's $750, but you're paying an extra $50 a month towards water? I've seen people do that on multifamilies.
On multifamily, got to be careful because if it's shared sewer, shared water, the tenant would have a reasonable argument that there's no true way to
That they could be
decipher
using
between the
way
two.
more
But
or way less.
a lease is a lease, so as long as and all of this, I would recommend obviously a professional attorney. I've always had attorneys put together the leases. I tell them kind of what I want, so that question would be great for an attorney. They could draw it up to where it's bulletproof,
Right.
but only attorneys can do that, and they're going to know what the law is in whatever state you're in to
Right.
make sure that you can do that.
Okay, so knowing what you know now, and what we've all gone through it.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone just starting in this game, investing?
Honestly, the very best piece of advice is because somebody watching this right now has been thinking about it and
Yes,
thinking about it
totally.
and thinking about it and thinking about it. And all I can say is, without question, the very best advice is go buy something now.
Yeah.
Stop. I don't care if it's I've done this, a garden suite condo. I actually I forgot I have 3 other. So I actually have 22 doors. Anyway,
I didn't know how many we had either. The first time I was like, Aubrey knows.
yeah, and I mean, yes, because I do have a garden suite. We basically, me and my business partner. In this case, that's why I forgot about it. So the 19 are me personally, and then I also have 3 with my business partner. And so that you can get creative and partner with people. What we did is we looked in the MLS and we looked for the least expensive condo. In all of like Lakewood, Ohio, and at the time it was $47,000. So we just bought it. We just split the cost, bought it. It was a little garden suite, 1-bedroom condo. Condos are nice because there's like no maintenance. You pay the maintenance fee. So you may have assessments.
Check your bylaws though first.
Yeah,
about
if you can rent.
Yeah. Make sure that you're able to rent that before you put an offer in.
But the point is $47,000. I mean, you get in the game is the point. My best advice is get in the game in any way, shape, or form, because by owning a parcel ID, by owning any type of property, it gives you options. You have no options, you have no assets if you don't get started, and you're not a landlord and you're not in the game of investing until you own a property. So get something.
Don't you think as a realtor too, it's a benefit when you're taking on investor clients because you're an investor yourself, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
The game.
As a realtor. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you have a network of people and contractors that you can refer, and you've been there. Like I just had somebody yesterday, they were like, what's up with this house on Berdan or a duplex on Berdan? And I was like, we have one on Berdan. We've had it since this time. It's done great.
Yeah, I can
whatever.
tell you the rent for just about every zip code in town, what we get. So you're giving an honest opinion. It isn't just like, well, this is what Zillow said. It's like, no, right down the street, exact same house. This makes X.
So I might rub some realtors the wrong way on this one, but I also might encourage some other ones. But if you are a realtor watching this, I would encourage you to point out that you're an investor, because buyers do want to work with investors when they're purchasing. They want that expertise. If you're a buyer, somebody that's looking to purchase or get in the investing game or start developing wealth through real estate, I highly recommend, and this is where I'm gonna have you ever taken a cat and pet it the wrong way? Like that's what I'm about to do to some realtors. But if you're a buyer and you're looking to invest in real estate, you need to find a realtor that has done what you want to do. They have to be an investor, in my opinion, if you're going to work with them, because of exactly what you said. They're going to understand. They're going to have contacts. They're going to have made the mistakes that you don't have to make if you work with that realtor.
Oh yeah, that's one of our questions. Have you experienced? Look at me putting on my glasses. Can you make me 24 too?
Yeah, filter.
I refuse to buy my readers.
That's so bad. Have you experienced any significant losses?
And what did you learn from?
What did you learn? We thought that was a good one, because we always talk about the fluffiness and rainbows of everything. Yeah, I
went down the path of so the beautiful thing about real estate is you never have any loss that can't be recovered in time. So if you overpay, and this is a big mistake I think a lot of people make, and I did this. I put off, and I was like, well, that's too much for this right now. Well, inflation will suggest that these properties are going to go up and up and up in value. So no matter what mistake you make in real estate, it will be fixed in time, just by the basic concept of appreciation, inflation, tax deduction from the interest payments you make to the mortgage company. You make money in so many ways in investing that you're still going to make up for it. But the one that I made, I did with my business partner, and we got into the Airbnb game. But we didn't manage ourselves. So I was finally starting to leverage and let somebody else do things. Leverage is good, but if you pick the wrong property manager, you are toast. So without getting into too much detail, what I can tell you is, the property, we purchased it. It was a dog. It lost money. We were speculating on a very high level. We just got into the shiny object syndrome.
Airbnb,
and it did not produce what we wanted to, what the property manager kind of promised or thought that
Did they
could pull
realize
off.
that Airbnb is literally like daily management, like hourly daily management, constant?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they projected. So it was a bad hire. And so it's not necessarily real estate's fault. It was eyes on task, like hands in the game. You know, I manage my own properties, never had a problem. I put it out there to someone else, and I guarantee you there's other good property managers that would have worked. We picked the wrong one. We had to sell it. When we sold it, though, what's crazy is we actually made a bunch of money because, I mean, it went up in
Market
appreciation and
improved,
everything like that. So we were able to take that money, reinvest it in other property, well, back actually in this case, we sold it, put it back into the business, the real estate business, to help us hire and grow that business. So again, owning real estate gives you options. You can cash out refi, you can sell, you can take that money and rotate it into other businesses or other parts of your life.
Right.
One of the goals that my dad had, and my mom and dad, I should say, when they bought a 2-family, their whole purpose was, when my brother and I get to college, they can cash out refi, take that money and use it as a college education. So owning real estate gives you options. My biggest error or mistake was that property. But in the end, when we sold it, we still profited. We still made money.
It's a great point, because the houses that were 100, 200,000 before the Great Recession, before 2008, we were able to go out and buy for 30,
Scoop
40K.
for 47,
but now they're back up to that exact same price, if not more. So,
Yeah, for
all right,
sure.
you bought something, you held on to it, it dropped significantly, but you want to stay in the game, even during one of the biggest recessions we've had. 10 years later, it's now worth
for
150,000. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Going back to the one other kind of mistake I made, but I overpaid for a property because it was right next to another 2-family
Did
that I
you
owned.
fight over it in multiple offers?
No. This was a different time in the world. So this was just a pretty balanced buyer seller market. This was a long time ago.
I haven't had one of those in a while.
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was before. It was probably before '08. I looked out the window. The neighbor's house went up for sale. And I was like, "Ooh, I could have two families right next to each other."
Yeah.
And so I went ahead and paid whatever they wanted, and I think I paid $160,000 for it, which was probably overpriced by $15,000. And I didn't cash flow on that. I actually lost $50 a month for about 2 years on it, and boy, did I feel like I made a mistake. What I wasn't taking into account was the tax write-off, the appreciation, as inflation goes. And today, that same home's probably around $400,000.
Wow.
So and I only owe like 40 on it. So
Right, that's awesome.
Which is good advice. I mean, some of these homes have been bought and held onto when they were 30K. Taxes haven't increased. If you are going to buy that house, make sure you evaluate for the tax increase that could come with buying a house
Right.
for 100,000 more than what it was originally owned for.
Right. And I guess, the point there is you're not buying an investment property specifically for cash flow, because that's only one part of it. Cash flow is only one part. Appreciation, tax shelter. There's so many things that are happening. And this is why I, quite frankly, left corporate America. I took all my money from corporate America, invested it in real estate.
Right.
And that real estate has just really never let me down. Even when I had a loss, it was not really a loss. I mean, it's,
Well, you had other properties to support it, which is what
True.
we said, I want to say in
Yeah.
the last video, like it makes no sense to buy just one. Like you
Right.
were able to absorb the loss because you had other properties that held.
I think once you buy your first, you really
First pull the trigger, but then try to escalate as soon as possible. I always say try to get the 4 houses as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, half jokingly, is every time the phone rings with an issue, it's going to cost you $500. So if that's your net gain for the month, it's gone. So you need those 3 other properties to help you recover for that loss.
And it dilutes the investment of, let's say you buy a shovel. Well, if you have 4 houses, that shovel is used on all 4.
Right, true.
Or so you're already making the heaviest investment in that first one, and then you just want to dilute it, or you want to mitigate the expense on the profit lines that are coming in. So the more that you can get, it's similar to, I talked to, or I'll do like storage locker facilities. If they have one storage facility, say they got 200 lockers, they would never be profitable. But if they have 4, now they become profitable. So that's why you're always going to see, if somebody owns storage lockers, they own like thousands of them, because
It's
they
the
have to have
bigger
a
the risk,
bunch
the
in
bigger the
order
reward.
in order to be profitable. They have to have a lot, because to hire somebody, or as real estate agents, right? If you have an administrative assistant, well, you're paying X amount of dollars. Let's pretend you're paying that administrative assistant $40,000, and you're only bringing it. Say you're doing 50 home sales a year or 20 home sales a year. We have one admin doing the admin work of 20. That same admin could do the admin work of 60 units. Really wouldn't, absolutely could handle that. So how quickly can we get more agents on your team, so you're diluting the cost of that administrator? Right. That's why larger teams make more sense. That's why our team has over 100 agents on it.
Right.
Because it dilutes the cost. So if you're an investor, you want to have more properties, to Aubrey's point. So
Yeah, for sure.
We only have a few minutes here.
Yeah.
Is there a commercial break? Is there a commercial break coming up?
No, I like the one that we asked, like, what opportunities do you see in the real estate market today, whether it be Toledo, Cleveland? Like, is there anything that excites you?
There is no good time to get into investing. It's always a good time to get investing. Like people try to time the market, you're never going to do it. It's like looking at stocks. Like, well, I'm going to wait till the market.
There's always that one person, but
it is a consistent investing. So what I get excited about is anytime you have the opportunity to save up money and to buy an investment. I don't care if it's a condo or a 3-family. I do try to cluster them together so it's easier to manage.
Yeah.
So all of mine are in a general geographic location. But I'd say what excites me about real estate, it's always a good time to buy real estate. That sounds like a realtor answer.
It does,
but it's so true, because you're like, well, gosh, a $400,000 2-family in Lakewood is ridiculous. Except for now that I've got gray hair, I already know that $400,000, that same 2-family is going to be worth $500,000 years to come. I don't know how many years, but the basic concept of inflation and, like $100 used to be a lot of money. And 20 years ago, it was like, damn, $100. Now it's like, that might get you through Applebee's with a family of 4.
Right.
It probably won't.
I think the spring market is what is exciting me right now, because at the very least, more inventory is going to hit. Like, you look every day and it's like stale. Okay, what popped back on the market? What got a price reduction? But I'm hoping, and it usually happens, I know in Cleveland probably too, but as soon as the Ohio weather starts to turn a corner, people are like, oh, we're ready to list. Yeah. And then there's more opportunities.
Yeah. And you're going to want to buy because you can work on the yards exterior and clean it up.
That's when you definitely get an opportunity to see the house in its purest form. When it's covered with snow, you don't know what's going on.
Oh, the driveway. Yeah. You're going to want to be,
Is there a formula that, like, I get investors calling all the time and they're like, I have this formula. Is there a certain, like the BRRRR method is which we use. Is there a certain formula that you use to figure out how you're going to purchase a house? Or just start investing?
Okay, so you had asked earlier. So every investor is going to have a different risk tolerance. So I don't believe there's really a model, because every person has it. So if you go to Vegas, somebody's going to gamble a lot and somebody's not even going to gamble. Why? Because their risk tolerance is different. So my risk tolerance is I'm more conservative. I would rather buy a property where I cash flow less, but the tenancy or the demand for that area is so high that I never have to worry about going 1 month. I have no vacancy. Yeah. So I've selected the west side of Lakewood. The whole world wants to live in Lakewood. Like, it is a high demand area. That means the prices are higher.
Right.
But when it comes to property management, I literally just go, I don't even have to advertise at this point. Somebody will tell somebody. Like, I told my friend I was moving out and I got 3 people that want to look at it. Could you meet them? And then they just rent it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So So my method is really low risk, high demand areas. I love buying grandma's house, or that house that
just might need
that's my favorite. Kind of give me shag carpet and disgusting walls all day long.
Totally. Yeah.
But if it has a foundation, I don't touch it.
Right.
Like, I'm not, because the foundation means your doors don't work. It means your roof's probably too heavy. It means your chimneys are cracked. Something's happening. Water it's mold. It just all ties together. So strong foundation, horrible cosmetics. That's where I go.
Right. I like it.
If it smells and it stinks, I love it.
Well, it'll turn other people off at the very least, too.
Keeps the price down, and then you can usually get in. I don't worry about cash flow in the year 1, 2. I'm not really worried about that if I'm in a nicer neighborhood. Right. If you're in a neighborhood that has less demand, I should say, high demand, low demand. If I'm in a low demand neighborhood, then I'm going to expect a prettier penny there.
Right.
So.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's it for today.
Yeah. What else do we have for Greg? Anything?
Well, if you guys have questions, comment below, and I'll follow them, subscribe to their channel, and I'll be following it, and I'll be able to answer any questions you have.
Follow this page. I think that's it for today. Send us suggestions, send us people we should talk to. We're happy to interview them.
Yeah.
Experts in the field. Eventually, we'll get to the method of madness that we use, which is typically the BRRRR method, but we've deviated and flipped that a few times.
Yeah.
I will say to anyone out there thinking about Airbnb over just general rentals, start with rentals. Property management and Airbnb are 2 different things. Airbnb is customer service first and foremost.
Hospitality.
Hospitality. Yeah. It's a whole different ballgame. Worth it, but it's a whole different ballgame.
And I think to Greg's point about hiring a property manager, it's very, very, very hard to hire a property manager when you're dealing with your personal asset and your legacy that you're trying to leave for your kids. And you want somebody that gets the big picture, and you want somebody who understands that the more that they do to keep everything on the rails, the bigger it can grow, the more money that they can make. But it's so hard relinquishing control to somebody else because you
Yeah.
always
It's your
worry
baby.
if
It's your
somebody's gonna have
babies.
your best interest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a big fan of just investing in specific real estate. I don't care if you consider yourself an investor or you consider yourself. I mean, if you're an accountant, if you work corporate America, attorneys, they understand this. Most attorneys have multiple real estate investments throughout the city, whether it be commercial or residential. But when it comes to residential multifamily units, I absolutely love it. It's been great to me, and I'm going to do a lot more of it. You're never too old to start.
Yeah, what are you
so I'm
buying this
50.
year?
Well, when I have the opportunity to invest, it's going to be. I'm open to. I like condos because it's low maintenance. Like there's obviously no common area maintenance or anything.
Yeah.
I still love multifamily. So if I were to do, but I'll do some single family too because I do like the longevity of a tenant. They move in, they're there for 5 years. It's as I get older, less maintenance is better for me. When I was younger, I would put roofs on garages, do all kinds of stuff, and I'd wake up the next day I can't imagine what I'd feel like the next day if I put a roof on a garage.
God,
So I'm gonna low maintenance investment opportunities is what I would be investing in.
That's a good point too. Yeah, some people want to tackle the fixer-uppers, but you want something that's more so cosmetics and.
Cosmetics. I love painting. I love how you can turn just by and I like to keep it under. I like to flip a unit. If I can do it for under $2,500, just with paint because I'm doing it all myself.
Right.
I just rehabbed a 2-family down in Columbus for my dad, and I was under $2,000, and it is gorgeous. But
it's kind of therapeutic to work on places yourself, isn't it?
And
I
that's
actually really like that.
yeah.
He hates it. I like it.
Painting
I do
is the
too.
worst. I just
Yeah.
cannot stand it.
I do too. I think
I
a lot
like a
of
quick fix. Like, how can I patch this to make it look good again? But the
that's fun.
God.
I love the
Yeah.
before and afters.
Same.
Yeah.
I love the before and afters too. Yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Landlord
thanks for
Greg.
coming in, Landlord Greg.
Are you gonna
We look
put
forward
your
to
suit
talking
back
to
on?
OP
I know. I got to
Greg
get my
soon.
suit back on and go sell a house. So.
All right, guys.
Go
Thanks for
sell us,
joining in
yes.
for the love of real
Yeah.
estate. That's it for this one. I hope you like it, and please reach out and let us know what your thoughts are. All right.
See you later.
Thanks.